All right. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys are doing great on this holiday week. I can't believe Christmas is just days away. But we wanted to bring you all together because it's always fun to connect on our Monday night calls. But as we all know, Rebecca is our wealth of knowledge all the time. And I was thinking, gosh, it would be so helpful, I think, to have Rebecca kind of do like a high level overview of what I wrote, and that is to kind of share the impact or the income and the awesome potential that comes with making impact in people's lives, but digging deep more so in the coach office a little bit, and even sharing some of the new ways of helping people in 2023. So, um, before we get started, does anyone want to share anything that they're very proud of from the week? Or I hope everyone's hanging in there on this busy time of year. Jill, is that your office? It's so pretty.
Yes, I logged on because of the topic today. I'm on my laptop. I'm in my home office. Yeah. So
Yay. Awesome.
thank you.
Awesome.
Well, good.
I'll
Well,
share.
Oh, yeah. Go.
I was just going to share that I wrapped up my own 12 days of Christmas Fitmas group. Thanks to the inspiration I had last year joining Megan's group. So thank you for that. I created my own graphics and did all my own stuff this year. I mean, I used the inspiration from that last year, but adapted that and built a new calendar, and I did daily prizes, and I had such amazing participation from about 10 girls. So I had so much fun with it. So they were excited, and they're like, thank you so much for this. And, girls showed up and never having tried yoga before. They're like, I didn't think I liked yoga, but this wasn't so bad, and some of those experiences. So that was really, really fun. One of the girls is supposed to be joining me at Super Saturday. So, and then she got one of her friends to join in with it. So she got to experience some of those for the first time. So it was just really rewarding and fulfilling to do that on my own.
That's so awesome. I love that one. And thank you all for everyone here that participated in ours too. I love it. Very good. If there aren't any more shares, Rebecca, do you want to get started?
Yeah, I will. Can you give me screen share permission? Okay. So Megan, like she said, mentioned, hey, why don't we go do a little bit of a deep dive, overview / getting a little bit deeper into the compensation plan, into how are we making income based on the impact, all of these pieces that are kind of, unless you dive in, seem like, I don't know how that works. And so when we don't pay attention to it, we wonder why our income isn't growing. And it's because we don't pay attention to it. And it's really this opportunity that we have to align what we love to do and help people and help ourselves. And then we make an impact with it. It's truly a gift. And it can make a really, really huge impact on your family, from covering your products to building kitchens, to leaving your jobs, to buying some new workout shoes, like whatever you want to do with it. It's there. And so I really want to make sure that as we go into the new year, we have an understanding of the compensation plan that we currently have, where we can find this information, and where we can go into our online office to kind of see the money that we could potentially be leaving on the table. I know when we did this when we went down to the Limitless Leadership Retreat in Florida with Ruth's team and Holly's team, and Julie's team was there. We were there, and Ruth did this training with us that I'm going to screen share with you. And there were coaches sitting in there that literally had like millions of dollars in their Beachbody bank account that was just sitting there waiting for them to tap into. And they didn't even know it was there because they didn't know how to look at it, and they didn't really understand Team Cycle bonus. And these are diamond and above coaches, and they still don't quite understand the compensation plan. And the more you know, the more you can leverage it. With the 2023 is bringing a whole new element to our, in multiple different ways, to our business. you might have seen Julie post about the Slay Squad call tonight. That is all kind of about these new changes coming in 2023. I watched the first part of that before this call. It's really, really great. If you haven't watched it, put that on your, like, I'm traveling, I need to plug into something list to watch, because it really does give a really good overview and some really dynamite coaches on there sharing. And also talks about the fact that in 2023, we're earning Success Club points. So we have like the ways that you can make money, right? The income, and we have what's recognized. And so because Success Club is recognized, so much of the focus is on Success Club, right? If you're a coach, if you're in this thread, you've heard us talk about Success Club and hitting Success Club, and that's what's recognized. And so naturally, what's recognized is what's focused on. And so because Success Club is recognized, and the way that you earn Success Club points are through Total Solution Packs are focused. And in my honest opinion, Success Club is a metric, and it's great and wonderful, and that's awesome if you hit Success Club. But what it doesn't do is honor and celebrate all of the other work that you can do as a coach. And it also, in my opinion, has shut off a lot of opportunity for you to help people, because all we get focused on, we get zero focused on Total Solution Packs, and we don't think about that person who has a gym membership who could really benefit from Energize. And we think, oh, that doesn't count because it doesn't get us Success Club points. Or that person who needs just the entry level to the workouts, they just need a place to start, and we're hesitant to give them, to share up the BOD membership with them because it doesn't count as Success Club points. And so we're cutting off, in my opinion, our avenues to help with these people because we're so zeroed in on Success Club points. And that's to the fault of the Success Club point structure. And corporate has realized that. CAB has worked over the past couple of years to say, we need to open up this full catalog. Well, it's never been closed. You could always sell anything you want from the catalog, but the focus has always been on Total Solution Packs. So now in 2023, we're opening that up, and you're earning Success Club points based on, yes, you still get Success Club points based on Total Solution Packs, but when customers order, or PCs or customers, this doesn't include coaches, PCs or customers order something on HD or not, it doesn't matter. When they order something, that volume gets banked, and there'll be a new report in your Coach Online office where you see this volume gets put there, right? Let's say they order Shakeology not on HD, that's 90 PV. That's not going to get you Success Club points because it's not on HD, but that's 90 PV sitting there. When you get a total of 125 PV, you get a Success Club point. And so you are now earning, Energize is like 50 PV, I don't know, 35, however much. Oh, HD stands for Home Direct Auto Ship. So one of my biggest, transparently, complaints with the Success Club system is 1 month, for example, I had 4 people order Shakeology. None of them put it on HD. 0 Success Club points from those orders. If those 4 people would have ordered the exact same thing, exact same price, exact same volume, exact same commission to me, if they would have put them on HD, that would have been Success Club 8. So does the Success Club system, did it truly reflect, did it truly recognize what we wanted to recognize? In my opinion, no. So I'm grateful for this change that they're making. And it allows coaches to kind of open up their eyes in terms of the ways that we're making money, right? If you are super passionate about the fitness piece of it, and you're super passionate about BOD, and you're kind of like not really sure about the supplements, this is great for brand new coaches who maybe just started Shakeology and like, I don't really feel comfortable sharing Shakeology because I literally just had my first shake yesterday, right? I don't really to that, but that's the gist of it. If you have a customer, for example, that doesn't order anything, this counts for inactive customers. Inactive is within 90 days. So if somebody hasn't ordered something for 4 months and they order it, that volume goes back into that 125 bank to start building towards that 125 to cycle to get Success Club points. There's no limit to that amount per month. You could get all of your Success Club points from that PV. You could sell no Total Solution Packs and still hit Success Club. So that is opening up ways that we can make money. That was always there, but it's bringing our awareness to it. There are some coaches that are like hardcore, like they are power greens. They put power greens in everything. Someone might be on this call who loves their power greens, right? So but we don't really talk about it very much, or we don't sell it very often because it doesn't count towards Success Club points. Now go to the coach link generator. I'll drop that right here. I just said that to Megan. Those are the links of all of the products that we have in our catalog. You can put your coach ID in there. Okay. Put your coach ID in there, find Power Greens, copy that link, post it in your stories. Somebody clicks on that in your stories, just like affiliate marketing, just like Amazon affiliates do. They order it through that link and that is connected to you. So now it's not just about connecting to Total Solution Packs. That's great. And I truly, honestly believe that's the total solution. Like, I feel like that is what's going to get you really started. But every time you put your Energize, every time you put your Shakeology, every time you put your Power Greens, or, 3 times a week, however you want to do it, putting that link in there, how often are people buying from links on Instagram or whatever? So often. At least they're going to look. You have those creepers, you have those people who are curious, who like just want to check it out, see how much it would cost or whatever. Now you're giving them a place to go check it out and build that trust bridge. Before I know this is not what I'm supposed to be talking about, but I'm getting there. Before we start going crazy with the links though, I'm going to warn you that Instagram does not like when people get off Instagram. And when you put a link in your story, that takes people off Instagram. So there are a lot of Instagram experts that are saying to use the link button purposely and intentionally, but not too often. Because Instagram will stop putting your story in the beginning of people's bubble screens if you're constantly taking people off Instagram. That's a trend for 2023 that I was just reading about, to limit the use of the link button because it's pulling people away from Instagram. Another option is in the link in your bio to have this is what I have. I have like a my favorites button on my website. And in my favorites, there's a link to Energize, link to Shakeology, link to BOD, all connected to my coach ID. So that's kind of a way around it. It's also a place where you can easily go grab them. Okay, I digress. But bottom line, there's a lot of ways to make money. In this business, I don't think they're being leveraged. In 2023, we're opening them up. How can you figure out all the different ways that we can earn money in this business? And you'll start to see recognition this week about the legacy, the road to legacy. Watch the Slay Squad call. They explain all of that. Julie posted about it in this Bardation page. You're going to start to see coaches be recognized for that. If you filled out the Google form, you're one of the coaches that are going to be recognized for that. That's going to be a regular thing that they're going to be doing to, again, highlight the income potential that we have as coaches and what's actually happening in the business. When we stopped being able to share about that, it kind of cut people off from that. And I think there's this new energy around making money isn't a bad thing. And how do we honor that and respect that and do it in a way that we're also leading with our heart and serving others. So Ruth did this compensation plan training. It's like an hour long. We're not watching the whole thing because it goes super, super deep. We're going to watch some of it. I'll pause it. She's going to show you things in the online office. If you have if you're doing this on 2 screens and you can pull up your online office, you can work alongside her. This compensation plan training is not allowed to be shared outside of coaches because she talks about income and because there are all those rules about how we're not allowed to talk about income, even with the income disclaimer. And she doesn't want to get herself in trouble for talking about income. And she shows a coach online office income, etc. So I can send you this link, but it is private and you have to promise not to share it outside of other coaches. So it's for training purposes only. Let me share my screen. And you can stop, unmute yourself if you have a question during it. I'll try to stop it when I feel like it's a good transition spot. But if you have a question while she's talking, just stop and I will answer it for you.
And we will get going. And it's going to look like I have a lot of slides here, but I promise you, we're going to zip right through this. So don't fear, my friends. All right, let me find it. Okay. Do you guys see on your screen? Give me a thumbs up if you see like a plant that says Team Cycle Bonuses. I'll say that. Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate it. Feel free to also chat in questions. I am looking at the Zoom chat. I am not looking at the Facebook Live chat. So if you are on Facebook Live, if anyone sees those questions over there, if you'll chat them in, I'll try to hop back and forth. But I'm going to get through this pretty quickly here. All right, so we are going to just start and jump right in. So again, foundational stuff, right? First, let's just talk about personal volume, PV. PV, this accrues from all the sales activity that you as a coach initiate. This can be personal orders or customer orders. Something that's commonly misconstrued is that people think personal volume means it has to come from your personal purchases. No, it comes from your personal purchases, but also any purchases from a customer that you sell to. We all know that coaches need 50 personal volume every 5 weeks to remain active. And you should also know, if you do not, that you need, and your coaches need 90 personal volume home direct every month to qualify for Success Club program and leads. Okay, so those are just bare basics. You need to know those things because you need to communicate them to your team. And so they're hitting Success Club. So
Okay, questions about that?
I have a
Okay,
question.
oh,
Go ahead.
So for example, okay, this is a real like specific question, but hopefully it helps others too. So I have my Shakeology rotating between vanilla and chocolate every month. Well, for December, I decided, oh, I'd really like to have the combo pack to have packets because I need more things to give out. So I think it's going back to what you were saying, Rebecca, earlier, and I want to make sure I understand. So I needed it sooner than when my normal subscription would ship. So I ordered the combo pack and something else. I can't recall what. Oh, just my Sure Thing digital access. So I'm beyond 90 PV, but it wasn't home direct, right? Because it wasn't on subscription. It was just like a one-off order that I did.
Yes, so if you didn't order the packets on Home Direct, then it wasn't considered HD, which the only thing that means is that in your online office, on your dashboard, the very first thing you see when you open, there's a little description there that says 90 PV HD to hit for Success Club. When that's checked off, it means that you're good, you got it. If that's not checked off, that means if you had Success Club 5 or higher, but didn't have 90 PV HD, you wouldn't get the Success Club prize that month and or any Success Club leads that would come.
The wording is
Still count.
coach requirement met. Right?
Yes.
Coach requirement met. Yeah.
In your online office, it will say
Yep.
coach requirement met. It doesn't, it still counts towards PV. So if you were holding for rank or something like that, all of that volume just still counts for PV. It just doesn't count towards that HD for Success Club. If you weren't going for Success Club, it doesn't have to be HD. If you are going for Success Club, there just needs to be HD there. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
I have a question, and it's probably really basic,
That's
but
okay.
I'm going to ask,
Sorry,
and that is, why is it important to be Success Club? Like, what is the difference once you have that?
Okay, so Success Club was a system that was developed based on what did they see that coaches that were building sustainable businesses, that were building income, that were making impact, that were growing their business, what were they doing? And they took all of that data that they got and said, okay, these coaches are connecting with at least 3 new people every single month. So
Okay.
that sustainability of 3 new people is what was building coaches' businesses. And so they took that and they decided to recognize that, because what gets recognized gets focused on. So they made that into a Success Club system, and they're like, okay, if you can help 3 people every single month get started, then we're going to recognize that. And that's an incentive.
Through money?
Well, it has been,
Right.
Great question. It has been things like the sweatshirts and the cell phone holders and the ring light things and like t-shirts and like all a bunch of stuff, Snuggies, all kinds of things, okay, throughout the year. I've got Beachbodyopoly in here, like you name it, they've probably made a Success Club
Okay.
from it. And it has gone in different ways. There has been something every month. Most recently, it's been like your first month throughout the year in a 12-month period. The first time you hit it, and then after you hit it for 3 months, it's have to be consecutive. And then once you hit it for 6 months, you get a prize, and then 9 months, and then 12 months. Well, the CAB, which is the Coach Advisory Board, has been begging corporate to get away from these Snuggies that nobody wants and actually incentivize Success Club with money. And so they're finally doing it. So starting in 2023, the Success Club recognition is going to be money. And so that's broken down in the Slay Squad call, but just to kind of give you an overview of that,
Okay.
just briefly, new coaches in 2023, as well as 2022 coaches, as well as coaches who enrolled before 2022, but didn't hit Success Club in 2022, now qualify.
That would be.
Okay, that's you. Okay. So do you now qualify for these cash prizes? And so they have 1, 3, 6, and 1, 3, 6, 9, and 12, I believe. And so maybe it's 3, 6, 9. I think it's 3, 6, 9, and 12. I don't know. I'll have to go look at the slide. But when you hit Success Club that many months next year, they're gonna give you that much money at it. So it's like, I don't remember what it is, what it goes. I think, I don't know.
That's okay. No, this is really helpful. I just, and if, as people listen to the recording, they might have questions about some of this too.
Yes.
So
And that's why we're doing this. And that's why we want all these questions.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is. So next year,
Thank you.
will be incentivized by money, which is hallelujah, finally. If you're sitting here thinking, well, I hit Success Club at least 1 month in 2022, does that disqualify me for for the 3, 6, 9, 12 month prizes, Success Club prizes, cash prizes in 2023? Yes, it does, but it qualifies you for, by the way, any coach can do this. So even if you're a 2023 coach or you qualify for the cash prizes, you can also be part of the Legacy Success Club prize money, which is if you personally hit Success Club 11 out of 12 months. So you personally hit Success Club 11 out of 12 months. And then your personally sponsored coaches in any configuration hit Success Club 10 times. Okay, so it could be one person hitting 10 months in a row. It could be 10 coaches, 10 personally sponsored coaches hitting 1 month. It can be however 2 coaches hitting 5 months each, 1 hitting 4, 1 hitting 6, however, whatever configuration. If you have 10 months that you have a personally sponsored coach hit Success Club and you personally hit it for 11 months out of 12, it's $1,000 cash prize at the end of the year. So that is the leveled up, if you will, Success Club bonus to go for. So I think it's like, gosh, I wish I knew what they were. I hadn't paid attention because I don't qualify for that. I'm going for the executive, is what they call it, the Executive Success Club prize, which is or incentive, the $1,000 at the end of the year. So again, that's one way that we can earn money are through these bonuses. One way we can earn money is through the commission, which is what we're talking about here. Like PV kind of equates to commission, just straight sales commission, which is now going to build up towards those Success Club points. And then we're going to get into how you can also unlock Team Cycle bonus, which is another level of the compensation plan. So let's keep going.
Active, so they're advancing a rank. We can look at our personal volume in the back office. If you go to the Monitor My Business and you click on team volume from there, you can go here and it's going to show you your personal volume for every single week.
Okay, I'm going to pause right there for a minute because if you go look in your online office, it's going to look a little slightly different than this because this is outdated. But if you go under reports, there's like up here at the top, there's a thing that says reports and it says volume. You go to volume, you're going to see the similar report, except you're going to see an additional column that says EV, and that stands for earning volume. The reason that they added EV is because they added preferred customers to this. And so EV has to do with your preferred customers. Remember that PV is only your personal orders and your customer orders. So when what she's going to talk about remains the same, but your report will look a little bit different. Then you'll also see LV, which is left volume, and RV, which is right volume.
Okay, so you just need, coaches in your downline need 50 personal volume every 5 weeks. So in the last 5, do they have that 50 personal volume to be active? And do they have their Shakeology, which should be a no-brainer because they should be doing those things, especially if they want to grow a business. When you click on that hyperlink, it's going to show you where all of that volume is accumulated from.
What she means by that is if you click on the blue, it will open up a report to show you where every single piece of that volume is coming from.
So based on that total PV I had of 285, I can go in here and see my customers that purchased something, or if I purchased something, it's going to show up on this feed. Okay, easy peasy. Moving on, team volume, and this is where it gets a little bit different. We're going to go into team cycle bonus. Team volume, what we call.
Okay, before we move on there, is there any questions about volume, personal volume? Okay, now we're going to go into team volume and team cycle bonus, which is unlocked when you're an Emerald or above coach.
TV. Okay, this accrues from the sales activity initiated by coaches in your entire downline organization. This includes your personal sponsored coaches and non-personally sponsored coaches. So this is truly anybody that you see in your organization, from both coaches that your coaches add, but also coaches, if your upline is adding coaches on that leg, you're going to see your coaches on there, and then their coaches. Okay, so it's truly a team effort, and every product that we have has TV attached to it. Okay, so Energize 38 TV, Hydrate 20 TV. As you can see from our personal volume is sometimes different than TV. Okay. So as this happens, you are getting team volume. We can go check out team volume in the back office at a few different places. First place you can look is on your dashboard. What you're going to see is your current week team volume and also any carryover volume from the last week. We'll get into that in just a moment. So you will see that listed here. But another place I've actually always tracked from the beginning and how I've calculated my paychecks before I ever got them was monitoring my business and team volume. Okay, so this is that same place right here. We see personal volume, but we can see our team volume on both of our legs. Everybody on this call right now, you have a left leg and you have a right leg. We're going to go more into that in just a moment. But every single week, you are accruing team volume if you are an Emerald or beyond coach, okay? And once we click on these hyperlinks right here, you can see the details. So this is the left leg team volume. When I click on that, I can see where all of that team volume, so I can see Kelly here and Jennifer and Abby and Tina, and if I go click on their TV, I can see what they ordered. So I can just see all the volume that's being accrued. You can go in to your back office and see the same thing, and I recommend that you start paying attention to this because it will matter as you want to grow a paycheck. It matters now, right? So if you go into this back office report, you are going to see maybe some names you don't know. So maybe you click on this left leg volume and you're like, who the heck is Kelly? Kelly's not my coach. Why is she showing on my left leg volume? Again, this is because you are seeing all the coaches in your organization. That means if I enrolled you on my team, right? If I enrolled you on my team and I added you, so you are this PS coach right here, but then I enroll another PS coach. So this is you, this PS. My coaches who are on your strong leg are going to show up in your team volume report. They're also going to show up in your graphical genealogy. How many of you ever went to your graphical genealogy or team volume report and you've seen a coach below you or showing up in team volume and you're like, who is that coach? Right? Has anyone ever did that when you were brand new? That's literally one of the first questions I had is like, hey, who's this coach on my left leg? I don't know who they are. It wasn't my coach. It was a coach that my upline coach had sponsored. Okay. And she placed that coach on my left leg. Therefore, I was seeing it in my graphical genealogy. And bonus, I also earned team cycle bonus from that coach's volume. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay. Before I go on, what questions do I have? I'm halfway done, you guys.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there because I know that the way that Ruth talks can get confusing. Questions? Okay, I'm going to clarify something. Some of you may have never, ever looked just a second, Leah. Some of you may have never ever looked at your graphical genealogy because it's not a common report to look at because for this reason, it could be confusing. If you go look at your graphical genealogy, so the same report under reports, you can go to graphical genealogy. It's going to kind of look like this picture that she has here. And it's going to show a whole bunch of people that you know. It's going to show you, and it's going to show a lot of people you don't know. And you're going to be like, what's going on? And when I first had this question from one of my coaches, I was like, what are you talking about? Because I never had anybody show up in my graphical genealogy that I didn't know. And so I had to figure out what the heck was going on. Some of you will have coaches in your graphical genealogy that you don't know, or you didn't sign them up and you have no clue who they are. Who is this person? What's going on? Some of you are like me and are going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is a different report than the sponsorship drill down. Sponsorship drill down is your personal coaches. Okay, these are your coaches and PCs. Every time she says PS coaches, you can assume she's also talking about PS PCs as well. This was before we had preferred customers, but it's the same thing. Okay, from this standpoint. So Megan, let's say Megan's up here. Here's Megan. Here's Megan's organization. Okay. Megan signs up Kelly and she signs up Jennifer. Okay. Those are her two personally sponsored coaches. So when Megan looks, she's got Kelly and she's got Jennifer. Okay. Then after that, Megan, I know this isn't true, but we're just using this for example. Megan then signs up Lauren. Okay. And she's going to put Lauren right here underneath Kelly. Kelly is going to go into her graphical genealogy and be like, wait a second, who's Lauren? I didn't sign her up, but she's showing in my downline. Lauren is not actually Kelly's downline, but Kelly gets those volume points from Lauren because she was signed up on the same leg as Kelly after Kelly. So that is like Megan's gift to Kelly. Thanks for signing up early. I'm going to continue to add coaches underneath you and you get to, all of their volume counts towards your volume. And volume doesn't mean anything until we get to Emerald and above. That's when we really unlock the Beachbody savings account, which she's going to talk about here in a minute, and team cycle bonus. This is why we talk so much about getting to Emerald and staying at Emerald, because this is when you're going to start to cycle. And then as you go up to Diamond, you get to cycle more money. She's going to talk about that, break that down in a minute. If you were like me and you were placed on an island in your downline, it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. It doesn't mean you can't grow money. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have a Beachbody bank account. It means you have a little more control over your business, in my opinion. Julie has never once added a coach underneath me. Okay. The way that I was placed in her downline, I've never once seen Julie add any kind of volume to my team. So there are some people like Karen Mavison, for example, is Julie's PS coach. And Julie has added multiple coaches. Karen's been around for a long time in the Beachbody world. And Julie has not added multiple coaches after Karen. So when Karen looks at her left leg and her right leg volume, one of her legs has like 1 million PV in it. Because Julie has added all those coaches underneath her. And every time one of those coaches orders something, it cycles up, team cycle, it cycles up to Karen because she signed on at the specific time. That's never happened for me because of the place that I am in Julie's downline. She has never added a coach underneath me. And sometimes it happens.
Rebecca, I have a question. So in that example, is Julie actively placing them under Karen, or is that just how it works because she's signing up new coaches after Karen signed up?
Correct.
Okay.
When you have two legs like this, right? Your right and your left leg, it's going to look backwards. I don't know how it looks like to you. And like Julie's up here. Okay. Let's pretend like Karen was right here. Every time Julie signs another coach, just because of the way that it is, Julie isn't actively saying, oh, I want this person under Karen, right? There is a way you can manipulate this, like manipulate where you want them. And I'll do that with my spouse account, but that's for another whole conversation. It doesn't really matter until you're Diamond and above. So I'm not going to go into it right now, but that's just the way that it naturally happens from adding people. So whoever your first two PCs or first two coaches are, they're going to see a lot of people in their downline that that in their graphical genealogy that they don't know. The cool part about that is that you're going to get that volume. But if you're placed in a place where you're not getting that volume because your upline coach has never placed anyone underneath you, don't worry, me either. And it doesn't mean anything about your potential to grow the business, okay? Or how much money you can make or anything like that. Okay. Any other questions about this part? Okay, we're getting ready to unlock the Beachbody bank account here, Beachbody savings account, I should say. And this is done at Emerald or above.
Guys, I told you I was going to breeze through this. All right. So and again, feel free to chat in any questions. I know this is kind of review before Micah gets to the really fun stuff. You have a left leg downline and you have a right leg downline. Some of you are going to have strong legs in your organization. The strong leg can be either right or left. It is different based upon who you are and where you're placed in the organization. It can also change over time. My strong legs have flip-flopped multiple times, or I have balanced legs. You might not have a strong leg. So if you do not have a upline coach who actively works the business, you might not have a strong leg. No fear, you can still grow an incredibly successful business. Lindsay Matway did not have a strong leg, did not have an upline coach, and I believe she's been the top earning coach for years on end. So good news is that you can still make an insanely awesome income no matter what your situation is, okay? You are always responsible for building both your right and left legs, right? That is your job as a CEO of your business. You are never to rely on anyone else. So just like Matt Way didn't rely on anyone else to build her team for her, she didn't get bitter and say, well, I don't have an upline. Instead, she said, I'll do it myself. And all of us on here, being our own CEOs, that's our job. Okay. So something, again, I'm going to say this over and over because this is where it kind of gets a little bit confusing for people. Remember, as I talk about this, that you are earning team volume, sorry about my typo, from all the coaches in your organization. PS and non-PS coaches. All of that team volume that these coaches bring in, either from their personal orders or from selling to a customer, all of that team volume trickles up to your right or left leg volume, okay? And so if you think about it, guys, remember, so this is you here and you have a right and left leg. Every single coach in your organization has a right and left leg, okay? So let's say this PS coach right here, let's call her Katie. Katie comes in and wants to build to diamond. Remember, she has this left leg, but she also has her own right leg. So she's going to begin building that. All right, let's say this PS coach, maybe this is your spouse account. Very important. We want your spouse account at the top of preferably your weak leg, but talk to your upline coach about that. But your spouse account also has a right and left leg as well. So they're going to have that strong leg that the team is building. They're also going to have the other inside leg as well. Okay. But also any coach who is a non-PS coach. So let's say Katie brings in her best friend, Stephanie, and Stephanie is added to your team. So let's say this is Stephanie, this one right here that I'm circling. And now Stephanie is going to grow a team as well. All of Stephanie's volume and anything Stephanie ever does is going to trickle up to your left leg in regards to team volume. I'm going to pause. What questions do you have? Micah, Nikki, if I'm missing a point, please let me know. You guys should both have hosts and can unmute yourselves. Okay. All right. So again, now some of you will have a strong leg. We'll talk about how to see that in just a moment, because the strong leg is kind of based upon the coaches you bring in, but also your upline coach. Are they building a team on the leg that you are on? So some of you might see right away that you have coaches, and that's because you've joined a coach who is actively working and building this business. All right. So we talked about team volume, right? Let's look at it from the back office as well. where we find this, and how do you calculate it? How does this impact your paycheck? So what I'm showing you right here is two different views, you guys. They are two different time periods, so please don't look at that. But you can see your team volume that's being accrued either on your dashboard right here, and this is going to include your carryover volume from the week before, or you can go to your Monitor My Business team volume report, and you'll see all of your team volume for the past weeks, okay? When you hit Emerald rank or higher, you are eligible for weekly team cycle bonuses based upon your weekly team volume, okay? So basically, the higher these numbers are, total team volume by leg, the more times you cycle. How many of you know, by chatting in, you can calculate your team cycle bonus every week before you get it? Chat in yes if you can do that. Like, you can go right now and calculate that. And tell me no too, just so I'm aware of my audience. I'm glad I see lots of yeses. That's awesome. And I love seeing no's too. That means I'm not wasting my time telling you this. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, you guys. How much do you get paid for each bonus? So you get paid $14 per cycle as an Emerald, $18 per cycle as a Diamond. Now there are maxes per week because you don't just cycle, well, you might cycle once a week, but the point is to cycle as many times as possible every single week, right? You want to cycle as many times possible with team cycle bonus every single week. But as an Emerald, you're going to max out at $250 because that's the cap. And I didn't even put Ruby on here because if you're Ruby, you just need to be Diamond, period. Just get to Diamond. Like, there's no sense of being Ruby. If you're a Diamond, you're going to cycle up to $2,000 per week, and that's where you max. Okay. So
Also, by max, she means that that's a maximum amount you can earn that week in team cycle bonus. But if you have additional volume that didn't get to cycle because you already hit that max, you don't lose it. You get to keep it. So your volume never goes away, which a lot of other network marketing companies, they do. Your volume will go away after a certain time period. The only time that your volume will go away is if you become inactive. So as long as you are an active coach, which means you have 50 PV or higher, once you hit Emerald rank, you start collecting this, okay? You start collecting this team cycle bonus. If you drop out of Emerald rank for some reason, okay, you still get to keep your volume unless you go inactive. So I have had coaches who were Emerald, they are banking the volume, then they go out of Emerald, one of their coaches delays or cancels or whatever, then they get back to be Emerald and they get a paycheck for like the biggest paycheck they've ever had, like times 10. And they're like, what happened? What did I do? And I said, well, you've literally just had that money sitting in your savings, your Beachbody savings account, waiting for you because you've stayed active. So Beachbody continues to let you accrue that volume. And now that you're Emerald again, now you're getting paid that volume again. So if you were Emerald and have fallen out of Emerald for quite some time, and you go back to Emerald, you might be looking at a pretty good chunk of money there sitting in your savings account. And you can see that by doing what she's talking about right now and going and seeing how much volume is there. If you are not an Emerald coach yet, you're not going to be able to see this because you haven't unlocked that level of the compensation plan. You can see it, but it's not going to equate to anything for you because you haven't hit the Emerald rank yet. Once you hit the Emerald rank, which PS is one on your right and one on your left, either PC or coach, you get to start collecting this volume, this unlock this part of the compensation plan. Questions about that?
I'm assuming that's the same for Diamond. If you go,
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. So same thing for Diamond. So if you are at a Diamond, you're cycling $18 per cycle. She's going to talk about how the cycles are calculated. But if you're Diamond and you are cycling at $18 a cycle and then you drop to Emerald, you're going to cycle for $14 a cycle. And then if you drop out of Emerald for some reason, you're not going to be making any of that team cycle bonus, but it's going to stay in your Beachbody savings account as long as you are an active coach. And active, not inactive, and active coach. So as long as you maintain 50 PV or higher, you will keep it in your Beachbody bank account.
how do we cycle and how do we calculate this? So now I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to start with a strong leg. Okay, so there's 2 ways to calculate. Tell me right now if you have a strong leg on your team, say strong or balanced if you know, and then say I don't know if you don't know. So it should be either strong, balanced, or I don't know.
So this is where you can get into your online office and look at your LV, your left volume, and your right volume, left team volume, and right team volume. See if you have a strong leg or a weak leg. I do not. Mine are balanced, meaning my numbers are pretty similar because I have nobody adding to mine. I am responsible for both of my legs completely. I mean, we all are, but I have nobody adding volume anywhere. I don't really have one strong leg or one weak leg. I have one that typically is stronger than the other, meaning the number is higher, but mine go back and forth. Sometimes my right leg is stronger, sometimes my left leg is stronger, and that's okay. Every single time that they're saying, like, for example, in the Road to Elite, your weak leg volume has to be XYZ number to advance up the Road to Elite. When they say weak leg volume, they're looking at that week to week for the past 5 weeks. So they're not saying, well, on this week, it was your right. So we're going to look at the last 5 on your right. It's going to say, okay, this week, your right leg was your weak leg. So we're going to take that number. This week, your left leg was a weak leg, the lower number. So we're going to take that number. So that's what they're talking about. If you are in a situation where your legs are kind of balanced like mine, your strong and weak leg can change. A lot of times you'll hear that talked about as if it never changes. And that's because a lot of people do have a very strong leg that will never change because their upline has continued to add volume there. I'm not one of those people, and you might not be either.
Cool, cool, cool. So I'm seeing, cool, awesome. Lots of strong. So this is going to pertain to most of you. All right, so your strong leg, we're going to do this calculation first. In order to cycle, you have to have 200 TV on your strong leg and 100 TV on your weak leg. That equals 1 cycle. Again, it can happen over and over again. So you can look at those 2 different spots and actually go here, right? So you can look at your team volume, but if you look at your dashboard, which is a newer feature, they didn't have this when I was a new coach. So I always look at team volume, old habits die hard. So you can go here, you're going to see if you have a strong leg, because if you do, one leg is going to be quite a bit higher and you're going to have this carryover volume that is banked, okay? So in this example, the left leg has 97,000, the right has 47. Okay, so this would definitely have a strong leg.
So the reason this was banked, it says carryover volume from the previous week. The reason that was banked and not cashed in, if you will, is because there was not 100 over here. So it has to be a 2-to-1 ratio, 200 to 100. So because there was not 100 volume points over here, it couldn't cycle one more time. So Beachbody lets you keep that. And so it gets to sit in your savings account, your volume savings account, until the following week. So you can see the current week volume, they added this much volume. So then down here where it says total team volume, they've added up those numbers. And so these are the 2 numbers that she's going to be working with here when she's going, okay, the 200 to 100. So for every 200 on the left leg, 100 on the right leg, I'm going to get $18 if I'm a diamond, or I'm going to get $14 if I'm an emerald. Which the 14, 18 doesn't really seem like a big difference, like between the 2, but when you cycle that over and over and over again, definitely adds up.
Now, if you had a left leg that had 100 and a right leg that had 20, and it's Tuesday, you would have balanced legs, right? So you can see here, this business center has a very strong leg. All right. All right. So to calculate this, what are we going to do? I'm just going to show you how I calculate it. That's what I've been doing since my beginning days of coaching. I literally started stalking this from the time that I could. I was obsessed with Team Cycle Bonus, and that's why it grew very quickly. What you focus on grows. So in order to do this, your calculation is going to be your weak leg volume divided by 100 times your rank amount is going to equal your Team Cycle Bonus amount. So in this example, it'd be 487 divided by 100 times 18. We're going to do 18 for all of these. That's a diamond. So what would our calculation be? How many times would we cycle? Chat that in. So it's like, yeah, thank you, Jen. 4 times. All right. I typically just round up or down based upon whatever it is. So like I'd round down here. Now what happens to that 87 volume that isn't cycled? That's going to go into your carryover volume for the next week. Okay. So you, as long as you are maintaining your rank, that volume, that 87 volume is just going to go to carryover. Okay. So we cycled 4 times. So 4 times 18. I am not good at math, but the fact I can figure this out should tell you guys everything. Is how much? I have to get a calculator. I know someone on here is good at math. While I'm looking at this, what questions do you guys have? Does this make sense for my people who have never been able to do this before? Yes? Okay, cool. So let's do another example. All right. So in this example, we have 118,000 on our left leg. On our right leg, we have 4,600. How many times is this individual cycling? Just tell me how many times they're cycling first. Yep, thank you, 46. Boom, shakalaka. Trisha, Hannah coming at you with prizes. Awesome, this is like Jeopardy. So if we take 46 times 18, right, that is going to be how much this individual cycles. 828. I'm not checking your math. I am just trusting Heather. So Heather, I'm really relying on you right now. Thank you. So you can see this is 1 week, right? In 1 week, that's what's happening. Any questions about this? Because I'm going to move on.
Now, just to be really clear about something, okay? That 400 or however much she said, 800, whatever she said, I don't remember what number she said, is there. And if you are, it was just sitting there. And if that person was not an Emerald coach, not a Diamond coach, it would be less than that, but not an Emerald coach, it's just going to sit there. And so you can look right now, if you've been Emerald and you're out of Emerald, you can go look at your volume right now and see how much is sitting right now in your Beachbody savings account that you can tap into once you regain that Emerald rank. Okay, you can also see your strong volume if you have a strong leg volume. And if you build that left leg, you build your weak leg, you can see every single time all of the income that's sitting there in your savings account. Just to give you an idea of the fact that this isn't necessarily that you're doing more work per se, right? You're just unlocking a bonus that this is on top of what you would be making from any of your retail commissions. So anytime you're connecting somebody, this is separate from the commission volume that you get for a straight sale.
And the difference here could be $150 a week between Emerald and Diamond.
The legs, so question I see, I will be covering balance, yes. I see one question, the legs cycle separately. So the legs cycle when you have 200 volume on your strong leg and 100 volume on your weak leg. So in this, since this individual that we're looking at, this example has a strong leg, both left and right are cycling, but that is one cycle, right? We have the 200 we need on the strong leg. We know that because we have a banked 100,000 volume, right? So we only have to look at the right leg. Dorinda, let me elaborate on that question. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. Okay, cool. Okay, and I saw another question. Weak and strong legs can switch per cycle. Is that correct? Heather, that is correct. And that's when you would have balanced legs. If you are in this situation where you have a ton of carryover volume, you're not gonna switch per cycle. Like you're gonna always use this. If you have balanced legs, that's when you're gonna use the next calculation I'm gonna go into. I believe I'm answering that question. Please elaborate if I did not. Jody asked, is there a pro to calculating it here with carryover volume versus the other report just week to week? It's really the biggest pro is that this one has your carryover volume. So if you had like 50 volume from last week, it's going to calculate that in. So you're going to get your carryover calculation as well. Good question. Okay. All right, so we're gonna just jump to our balanced leg equation. All right, so if you have a balanced leg, this is where it's, if you have balanced legs, this is for my balanced leg people. Additionally, hopefully everyone on here, your goal is to really catch your volume. You want to be such a rock star, building such a rock star team that at some point you've like surpassed catching your volume, which actually isn't like that fun because I just love to have a power leg all the time, but that's not how it always works out. So at some point in your business, because you all are going to be such rock stars, you're going to catch your team. You're going to catch that balance leg. So in order to calculate this, what you're doing is you are adding your right leg and your left leg team volume together. Okay, dividing that by 300. So in this situation, it would be 1,708 plus 530. That's going to give you 1,238. And you're going to take that 1,238. We're going to divide that by 300. And that is going to be how many times you cycle. Okay. So that would be, you'd cycle 4 times. Okay. So then what would our calculation be if you cycled 4 times? You would take it by what? 18, because everyone on here is a diamond. So you should all be cycling at 18. Okay. That's the balance leg calculation. So again, we could look at this again, and it would be the same thing, that 3,700, or that 37,900 plus the 11,366 divided by 300 times 18. So that's your balance leg equation. Courtney, does that cover that? We're good there? Is everyone good with calculation? Yes, give me a thumbs up if we're good. All right, cool. All right, so how it grows. Again, so I wanted to take you guys back just very quickly before I hand this off. We all start at 0. Everyone has 0. So this was my business when I first enrolled as a coach. I joined a coach who gave me a strong leg, who had a strong leg there. So this left leg was just constantly growing, as you can see. And my right leg was my weak leg. Okay, I started out at 0, 0, 0. Then I enrolled, what did I do? I enrolled my mom and my spouse. So these first 2 people here, this was my mom, which was a massive mistake. I wish I would have enrolled my spouse first, so don't be like me. Hopefully everyone has already enrolled their spouse. But that was there, okay? So here we could see very beginning of my business. But fast forward about 3 months, I was always inviting to the business, always. I was looking for business builders, people who wanted to change their life with me, to do this full time, to have big dreams. I was putting that out there and inviting people to do that with me, dead serious. And I was painting that picture for my team. So by the time we got to September, you see this weak leg volume. I had, how many times did I cycle? Super easy, right? Divided by 100. I cycled 6 times in this week. And if I dig into this, I can see where that volume was coming from. Now, here's the thing, you guys, it's not just your PS coach. Again, it's all of the coaches. So this coach here, Leah, was one of my first business builders. And then Leah brought in Ashley. Okay. And then this other Ashley was a new coach that week. Okay. So I brought in one business builder who brought in another business builder. And so when Leah or Ashley brought in coaches to the team, the volume would build and build and build. And since I was always looking for business builders, I wasn't seeing just a few orders come through from Shakeology from week to week. I was seeing Leah and Ashley build their own empires, and that was building my team cycle bonus. But you do not find that unless you are inviting to the business, talking about the business, and painting that picture of what's possible in the business. Because again, remember, team volume is based upon all the coaches in your organization, not just your PS coaches. Any questions? That concludes my piece. Before we pass it off to Micah, who's going to deep dive.
Okay, so Micah goes deeper. I'm just reading Kelly's comment. Micah goes deeper, and we can do that on another call, or we can do that on a separate day if somebody's more interested in going deeper into that, getting higher up in the ranks, really unlocking more pieces of the compensation plan. But we've already been on the call for an hour, so I want to let you guys go. But take any more questions before we go. This was unlocking really talking about the team cycle bonus, really talking about, okay, where is this number coming from? How am I unlocking it? And at the end of the day, when we look and we're looking at our whole organization of coaches, of customers, of preferred customers, that is your income that you're making is a reflection of the impact that you're making. So every time that you're going out there and you're helping somebody change their life and you're saying, hey, I'm raising my hand to be your coach, I'm not flaking on you, I'm not selling you Shakeology and hitting the door and you're never going to see me again. I am connecting you with Shakeology, and I'm connecting you with my team, and I'm connecting you with my challenge group, and I'm not leaving you. I'm doing this alongside of you, and you're raising your hand and you're saying, okay, I'm here to help you, I'm here to make an impact. Then you're unlocking those pieces of the compensation plan to create that income that goes with it. So the more your impact grows, the more your income grows. So that is base level. If you're a coach, you're going to be making commission. Once you're an Emerald coach, you get to make commission plus team cycle bonus. Once you become a 2-star coach, then you get commission plus team cycle bonus, plus what they'll dive into more when you have those quarterly bonus at certain ranks based on the impact that you're making. Now, if you think about the way that we're going to be opening up the catalog, if you will, in 2023, and emphasizing more, sharing more, not just total solution packs. This is going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be an entryway, especially to those newer coaches who've been kind of in the back seat for a while, coaches who are ready to step back in, your brand new people that are joining you. This gives them opportunities to connect and sell and share and get that, oh my gosh, I'm getting paid for sharing something that I really love, instead of being like, okay, now your first goal is to sell 3 total solution packs. And they're like, I don't even know what the heck that means, right? We get to, as a team, connect them to this community, help mentor them, help them change their life, help them share with other people. And as you can see, all of our income is growing. So any other questions from this as you're setting income goals for 2023? Keep this in mind. Keep these details in mind, so you're setting realistic goals, you're setting attainable goals, and you're also pushing yourself a little bit. Go look at what your strong leg volume is. Go see what that looks like. What do you want your weak leg volume? This is why, by the way, they say to put your controlled account, your spouse account on your weak leg, because you're going to be building that. So all of that volume is adding in there. But if you're like me, your strong and weak leg varies from week to week. So you just build it yourself and figure it out. Other questions?
And also I would say, like, it's good to like keep your rank, because when you drop rank 1 week, you miss that team bonus. So like my weekly paycheck is my team cycle is bigger than my commissions from what I sold every week. So, and if I went inactive, or if I dropped my rank, if it yo-yoed a lot, I'd be just like missing out on that check every week. Right, Rebecca? I mean, that's what I think.
Yep. I think once you start earning the team cycle bonus, and once you start looking that, which PS, if you are not tracking that already, I highly suggest you do that. On Thursdays, go in to your reports and go to commissions and earnings and go look at your retail commission, your BOD subscription commission, and your team cycle bonus, and look at those numbers. I know for myself, for a long time, I didn't even look at it. I'm like, oh, surprise, here's my bank account. I have no idea how much money I'm making every week. Like, oh, fun, this is just a fun thing. And every Thursday I wake up and there's new money in my bank account. And then once I really started treating my business like a business, and that being a CEO, I know that tracking my numbers is important. If I want my income to grow, I have to pay attention to it. I have to look at, okay, what is my retail commission that week? What is my BOD commission that week? What is my team cycle bonus? And once you start tracking it and you start seeing the impact that team cycle bonus can make, you're like, just like Megan said, it's oftentimes higher than your retail commission or your BOD commission. And that is just bonus that's sitting there for you. Like, that's a second level of the compensation plan. And it's underestimated, I think, at first, because when you're a brand new baby Emerald coach, you're maybe cycling once a week. So you're maybe getting $14 and you're like, oh, this is dumb. I'm just making $14 extra. Well, lo and behold, as that grows, you're like, holy crap, I'm making that much bonus money on top of what I already made from doing the same amount of work. I'm not doing any more work. I'm just making this extra bonus team cycle bonus that Beachbody's giving me. So that's just the second level of the compensation plan. But I definitely agree that if you're not tracking it, track it, because like Megan said, once you start seeing it, then you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I get it now. It doesn't sound like gibberish anymore.
And then also, like, if someone drops from a preferred customer to coach, like years ago, I would be like, oh gosh, that's so sad. But it's okay. They're still on your team. And you're still going to earn volume from their purchases and all those things. So just a side note about that. And maybe someday will be a better time for them to be a PC or coach again.
Yeah. And I think that next year with the changes to the Road to Elite, that's a whole other conversation, but there's been a little bit of changes to the Road to Elite, where preferred customers and coaches orders used to count towards a certain number. They're no longer counting toward, or coaches and preferred customers used to count towards that. There's no longer, it's just your customers and your preferred customers. So there's less, I think, less emphasis on signing everyone up as a coach automatically. Like, everybody has a different train of thought about how they sign people up as what, but next year it's a little bit more balanced as far as the impact that it makes on these other recognition programs, bonuses, etc. So it really, in my opinion, truly comes back to, what is that person ready for, right? What is that person ready for? What is that person comfortable with? Does that person see a 3-month thing for them? Do they see like, okay, I want to be for preferred customer? Do they actually want to be a coach? Are they actually ready to build this? Like, they're still in your ecosystem. You're still making an impact on them. And now with all these different avenues, instead of just channeling it all towards everybody be a coach or a PC, now with all these different avenues being counted towards these different numbers, it makes it a little bit more like, okay, person centric instead of number centric or rank centric. Person, what does this person want? What would be best for this person? Now would be best for me or my organization, which I think our team does a really good job of that. But I know there are other teams that maybe aren't as aware of that, or a little bit more focused on what's in it for them versus what's in it for the other person. So.
Well, thank you guys. I know this was long, but I think it's always beneficial. So, and I'm glad we have the recording for others too. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
You are so welcome.
Thank you guys.
And oh, go ahead.
Oh, and I mean, Jennifer and Jill are innately amazing leaders. So we are here to support you guys if you want to build your teams.
I'm like sitting here like, I learned a lot tonight. I didn't even know how to look at reports and things. So I'm real
I'm glad it was helpful.
Nowhere to go but up.
Yes. Okay. Well, good night, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye.